What's up, Horseapple? This video goes out to YESIFY. I'm going to be making a case for why my new EP, link down below, I think it's God tier. Why I know it's God tier.
My rent rats fill the whole book. Feel free to come and get your soul took. Read anytime you want, bring a notebook. Take notes, but don't steal mine. These lines.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. I haven't really talked about this much. The EP will pretty much, the story of the EP will pretty much tell you what happened, but just to synopsize it and summarize it really quickly, essentially what happened was, about 3 weeks ago, YESIFY dropped a video ranking a bunch of underground YouTube rappers on a tier list. And I was on that list, and I ranked C tier, among the lowest. I was the lowest. You know, and his reasoning for it, after all of his compliments, was that I don't have a lot of music. And, you know, I figured, hell, he's right, that's understandable. I don't have very much music, so what I decided to do was I made a full-length EP. That's 5 tracks. They're all made by yours truly. Now, he said before I released the EP, and after, that he was going to make a review. Now, he hasn't done that yet, and I'm hoping that this video will reach his eyes before he does. I want to quickly make a case, put some things out there for his consideration, so that way when he goes into reviewing the album and making a video about it, that he can have these things in mind and take them into consideration when he's deliberating and giving the EP its final score. One thing that I think should be noted, I made all the tracks by myself. I made them all from scratch. The music, the instrumentals, I made all of them. It took a while. I was able to do it all in under 3 weeks. I made this whole EP in under 3 weeks. The story of the EP is pretty interesting. I mean, it's pretty out there. It's pretty left field. I mean, the whole EP pretty much centers around the idea of ranking higher on a tier list. I mean, that's a pretty interesting EP idea, and if I remember correctly, even with this bizarre idea, I was able to secure a 10 out of 10. And that never happens. YESIFY dropped a quick EP review on his Twitter. He said Before the Journey was a 7 out of 10, Call to Adventure was a 5 out of 10, but Conflict and Growth was an 8 out of 10, Death and Rebirth was a 3, Atonement and Transformation, incredibly, was a 10 out of 10. And he even said the hook was good. What made that so impactful for me was that Atonement and Transformation features one of the things that I am worst at. I am terrible at singing, and yet not only did he give the song a 10 out of 10, but he actually pointed out the hook, which is where I sing, was actually one of his favorite parts. That's pretty good. And Before the Journey secured a 7 out of 10, and Conflict and Growth got an 8 out of 10. That's incredible. Another thing he pointed out in his short EP review on Twitter, he pointed out that the EP had good production, which is incredible. I mean, I tried really hard. Here's another thing, right? The names. Before the Journey, Call to Adventure, Conflict and Growth, Death and Rebirth, Atonement and Transformation. These are all things that are used in what's called the hero's journey, right? This is something that a lot of authors and fucking other people, writers, they use this diagram or this tool to create very interesting stories, and I was able to use it on an EP and have it come away sounding good. That's pretty incredible. Another thing I want to point out is that all 5 of my tracks, none of them sound similar at all. They're all like complete opposites. They're all very different from each other. Another thing I did is I made all the cover art myself. It's pretty incredible. I only used 7 colors, and I drew all of it by hand. Well, I mean digitally, obviously, but I made all of it. You know, I didn't go online and just freaking find all the stuff. I drew it myself. Just like the instrumentals. I didn't go online and go on YouTube and find all these instrumentals. I made them myself. I made them by hand. I made them from scratch. Taking all these things into consideration, keep in mind, YESIFY, I did all of this in under 3 weeks while balancing college and my job and my life. How many people on your tier list have done anything even remotely similar to anything that I've done? I can't think of anybody. I can't think of anyone. I can't think of nobody. I can think of nobody that's done what I've done. I can name on this many hands how many people have done what I've done. A 0. On top of that, I also completed a 6th and optional bonus track called Returning Home. And I know, obviously, some people have their opinions about the mixing and, you know, about the chopping and the way I did it, but I mean, I didn't have to even do that, but I did. And it sounds good, I think, overall. And I think it rounds off the EP nicely. So let's put all this in perspective. I created the entire storyline. I created all the cover art. I created all the beats from scratch by myself. I wrote all the lyrics by myself. I recorded and mixed everything and mastered everything by myself. Oh, and the entire premise of this album was based off such a left field and bizarre idea, such as trying to rank higher on some random guy's tier list. And with all this in mind, 3 of them got pretty high scores. One of them even got a 10 out of 10. Again, how many people do that? You know, I did all this in under 3 weeks, and I created this entire EP. So, to respond back to Zach, is dumb 69, whoever that guy is, are you an S tier yet, Horseapple? The answer to that is no. I'm not an S tier. Because I'm not going to be an S tier. I'm going to be in God tier. Thank you. Make sure to listen to the EP. Bye.
Could have been a horse that maybe ended all that.